Hey guys, back again. So, you heard from Tammy and her story. She's on mama duty now. The husbands are gone fishing. The husbands are gone fishing this morning. So, we're just hanging out, just us moms and the kids. You heard from Tammy and her amazing story. So, now I'm going to come on and I'm going to share my story. So, what's really neat is like Tammy and I were two different people, right? So, you can see that Tammy has built her business by being a stay-at-home mom. I am a working professional, so I have built my entire business while practically working full-time as a dental hygienist. So that I want you to take into consideration that, there's a whole wide variety of people that are in the brand ambassador opportunity that are able to be successful. You just have to, and I want to say this first, you have to first have the desire that you want change in your life, the mindset to go after it, and third, the belief that you can do it. Everything else will fall to the wayside. Cost, time, all of that will fall to the wayside when you have the desire and the belief in yourself of what you want to accomplish and that you can accomplish it, okay? And I'll get into that. So, my name's Courtney. I am from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Actually, I'm from a small rural community outside of Ottawa, 6,000 people, retirement community, so there's not very many people my age around here. So I want you to take that into consideration too, that it doesn't matter what town you're in, where you're from, whether you have 20 reps in your area, you can still be successful at this. I have built my entire business online with virtually no support. The only support I had with family and friends were my parents. Okay? I had no warm market, which warm market is people that you know and all that kind of stuff. I've built my entire business off my cold market, okay? And that's something really valuable about being part of Team Canada is I teach you that. I teach you how to expand past your location to grow your business globally, essentially. If Zyia does go globally, which we have so much potential as a company. So, I'm from a small rural community. I grew up here my whole life. I'm a dental hygienist. Like I said, I've been a dental hygienist for 11 years. I was a dental assistant prior to that, so I've been in the dental field for 15 years. I'm a mom of two girls. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. I have a husband. I love health and fitness. I've lived in activewear basically my whole life. I've always been that sporty kind of person. So let's go a little bit further back so you can get to know me a little bit more, because I wasn't always the person I am today. I've grown, not necessarily physically, but mentally into the spot that I'm in now. I'm the girl that said I would never, ever, ever do a live video. Ever. I didn't think I could do these types of businesses because I was not going to do a live video. No. Okay, so I was that girl. I grew up as a shy little girl. I can remember the brick wall so vividly. The brick wall that while I was in elementary school that I stood across, grade 1, grade 2, when you're really young, watching all the other kids play, I was too shy to go play. So I spent my recess standing against the brick wall. People would ask me all the time if I could even talk. Can you even speak, they'd say. And I would reply with either a nod or a nod this way, okay? I was shy. I grew up with a learning disability. In grade 3, I was diagnosed with a learning disability. I spent my entire elementary school half days down in the special ed room, away from my classroom. The teacher would come get me in the morning, and off we'd go down the hall. I remember the exact floor in the school, the pebbles that were in it. I remember exactly what it looked like because my head was down as I went. I was about probably one of the only ones that would be plucked, maybe me and another person, plucked from the class, taken down to the special ed room, and I spent half my days in the special ed room, okay? That followed me, continued throughout my entire schooling. Even in high school, I was given the opportunity to write the tests in the special room, to have more time. I was given all these privileges because I had been diagnosed with a learning disability. Okay, so I grew up thinking that, I wasn't going to become much. I eventually, what I think grew out of that, and I ended up becoming a dental hygienist, which is an extremely competitive program, and finishing on the honor roll, okay? So your past history does not define where you're going, and I really want to drive that home to you, okay? I also struggled very, very hard with anxiety and depression throughout my entire 20s. An entire decade, I struggled. I did not have any confidence. I did not see self-worth in myself. I fought a lot with my husband because I didn't believe in myself, and they were all my own insecurities. I accused him of stupid things. I would spend days crying in bed. Some days I couldn't even get out of bed. I was suicidal. I did not want to live anymore. These are all things that were a very, very real part of my life. I remember, I have a good connection with my family. So I remember sitting down with my mom and dad in my early 20s and telling them that I didn't want to live anymore. And I remember the tears on their face, the look on their face, the crying that they were doing. And as a child, to see your parents cry, it's really heart-wrenching, especially when they said to me, what would Grandma think if you weren't around? You know, like, what would Grandma think? And that was just really heart-wrenching. And now, looking back, myself as a parent, I would die if my child came to me and told me that they didn't want to live anymore, okay? It's a very real thing, and that's just part of my past, and that's where I've come from. I'm no longer there anymore. I've been completely anxiety and depression free for the past 4 years. I've done a ton of mindset work. I know how the mind works. I've been able to completely transform my mindset, reprogram my mind, and I no longer struggle anymore. There was one point after all the counseling, all the therapies, being on a maximum dose of anxiety and medication, there was at one point that I thought that's just how it was going to be. And that's just how I was programmed, and that's just how I was going to live my life. Obviously, things have changed through, mindset work and all that stuff, and where I've been led to, right? Bad things that happen, not necessarily bad things, but things you go through in life prepare you for things that are ahead in life. Looking back at that now, I see that it wasn't failures, it was stepping stones to where I'm meant to be. Okay, so let's keep going. So I have previous history in business. So I had a brick and mortar business, and then I've had an online business for 6 years. So I have about 12 years combined experience in business. Okay, so when Zyia came into my life, so I was working full-time as a dental hygienist, but I was $60,000 in debt between credit card debt and line of credit debt. So that was a conjunction of a bunch of things. So I got pregnant shortly after I had graduated school. Hey, Jody Lynn. Yes, if you guys are hopping on, say hello. Good morning. So I pretty much went from being in school to working for a little bit, then on mat leave. So I had school debt, and then, of course, being on mat leave, here in Canada, you don't get very much, so there was that. And then, when you go back to work, there's childcare. You think you're going to be able to pay off the debt, but there's childcare, and then things just add up. And then a pregnant second time, so off maternity leave again. I don't even know, but I accumulated $60,000 worth of credit card and line of credit debt, okay? I was working, I have a good career, okay, but I could not keep up with that type of interest charges, okay? So there was one point where I was like actively looking for a side business, but it had to be online. I had already been, I had already done, hey Cheryl, I had already done the brick and mortar. I knew about the hefty rent, the hefty startup costs, and that's probably part of my 62 because I invested $40,000 to launch that business. So there's the overhead, there's the inventory you need, there's the hefty startup costs, there's all that kind of stuff. So when I was looking for another business opportunity, because I knew I needed one, I couldn't pick up any more hours at the dental office. I was already working full-time, but I knew I needed more income in order to dig myself out of debt. And there was no way I was claiming bankruptcy. No offense, like if that's something you've done, I wanted to get out of it myself. I didn't want anybody to help me. I wanted it to get out myself, okay? So I was looking for something that was online, I only want it online because you can work it, you know, in the pockets of time. You didn't need to be at a physical location. And I came across Zyia. We weren't even launched in Canada yet. Long story short, their vision aligned with my vision, plus my extreme passion for activewear. I had already lived in activewear. I do not own a real underwire bra. I haven't in over 15 years. So it just aligned, and this was going to be it. This was going to be what saved me. What I said when I started 18 months ago by myself, I said this is what's going to save me. And my first initial vision was to earn a couple $100s a month, because I knew at some point I was going to need a new vehicle, and I needed a couple $100s a month for a monthly payment to be able to get a new vehicle. Okay, my current vehicle had been breaking down. Oh my goodness, I don't know what happened. Am I still here? If I'm still here, say hello. So my current vehicle had been breaking down, and I knew that's what I needed to do. So that was my initial vision. Okay, so the rest is history, guys. I guess I'll talk a little bit about how it's changed my life. I won't get into too much because we're going to talk about how the business and stuff later. So basically, I was able to do this, and you know what? Could I afford the sign up start when I started? Probably not. I was in $60,000 worth of debt, right? But I had the mindset. I had the mindset that I knew I did not want to stay stuck where I was, and I knew I needed to do something. I also knew that nothing's free in life, and we've got to work for what we want. So of course, I knew that I needed to invest in order to make gain, right? I had already invested $40,000 for a brick and mortar business. So the investment for me to be a brand ambassador was peanuts to me. Okay? I looked at that investment not like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, or that's a lot of money, or, you know, I looked at it from the day I seen it and said, what can I turn this investment into? That was my train of thought. I also did not struggle with the time. Here I am, a busy mom of two that are in activities like horseback riding and gymnastics, and I was working full time, 10-hour days as a dental hygienist. And time did not cross my mind. I did not think for 1 second that I wasn't going to have the time. And you know why? Because I had the desire. I had the desire to be, I did not want to be in my current spot then so much that nothing was going to hold me back. No time restriction, no cost restriction was going to hold me back, because I had the desire to get out of that debt that kept me up every single night, that I would cry about because I would just get it paid down and the interest charges would plunk on and it'd be back up again. I want it to be out so bad that I was willing to wake up at 5 a.m. I was willing to work my lunches while my coworkers socialized. I was willing to come home and spend a couple hours after dinner to work my business, okay? And I want to be really real about that I didn't just plunk here and land here. I worked hard. And you can too, but you have to have the vision, and you don't have to work day in and day out. I've built this entire business in the pockets of being a mom and the pockets of working full time, okay? So I want to be really clear on that. So what this business has allowed me, the extra income finally, after years of what I was trying to do, allowed me to consolidate my debt, okay? The bank finally, with the extra income, said, yes, we can let you consolidate. Prior to that, they would not let me consolidate. I needed a cosigner because my debt was so high compared to my debt ratio thing. So I had tried for years to do that because it would cut the interest, right? And I would be able to get my debt. That was my biggest goal in life, was to get that paid. So Zyia, excuse me, allowed me to be able to give enough credibility to the bank that they finally let me consolidate my loan, which saved me a ton of money in interest every month, okay? So that was huge for me. Zyia has also allowed some pretty incredible memories to be made in our family. Last summer we were able to invest in his and her Sea-Doos. My kids have had a ton of memories out on the lake. Just things that are going to be with them forever, right? Memories, you can't buy memories. Like, they're just the things that are so important, and Zyia has allowed me to have those memories. Zyia has allowed me to live comfortably during a pandemic. As you know, in the health field, I was laid off for 4 months from my dental hygiene position back in March. We just went back 5 weeks ago. I did not qualify for any EI. I did not qualify for any government assistance. And I was able to live very comfortably during those 4 months and have a blast home with my kids for 4 months straight, while being able to continue to work online. Zyia allowed me that, and I am so blessed, because never in a million years, we always think stability, never in a million years did I think that would happen, that I would be laid off from a position. But because I invested 18 months ago into myself, into my family, we were okay. And I know so many people weren't. And this just brings me to the opportunity of telling you how important multiple streams of income are. I had always thought it was nice to have a couple streams of income, but it wasn't until the pandemic that it really hit home that it's really smart. Like, it's really smart to have a couple streams of income coming in, because it's like you just never know. So Zyia allowed that for me. I have some exciting news coming in the fall, which I'll share later, that Zyia has allowed. And it has to do with being completely debt-free, finally. But I'll share that later. So there are just so many blessings that has happened because I took the chance on myself. I invested in myself, and I showed up every single day, okay? This isn't a hard business. It's not hard, but it is work. You can't just come in and magically be successful, okay? It takes work, but it's fun work. It doesn't seem like work, okay? So just to give you an idea of income potential, I'm not going to tell you how much exactly, but I'll give you an idea. So as a new rep, I was earning about $1,000 a month, okay? Which was pretty incredible, because my main goal was to come in and do about $200 a month. Hey, Tammy. Oh, you guys are on the trampolines now. So much fun. So that was pretty amazing. Like, to have, like, that's a good car payment, right? I initially started this because I knew I needed a new car, and I needed a couple of $100 a month to be able to get a new car. So as a newish rep, I was doing about $1,000 a month. Now I'm going to tell you that I consistently do over 5 figures a month. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much, because, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. But I consistently do over 5 figures a month from home after 18 months of pure dedication, which has 5 times my dental hygiene income. Okay? So my activewear business as a brand ambassador is paying me 5 times more than me going to the dental office, away from my family, paying for childcare, all that stuff. So I'm now at the point where I have to decide if I still want to do full-time at the dental office, or if I want to do part-time, or if I just want to stay home, right? I have options now, okay? Things are so different in the medical field right now with my career that I have options now. And same with the fall. It's unknown. Are the kids going to go back full-time? Are they going to learn from home? Are they doing A day, B days? That's all stuff that I would be stressing about. I can't imagine being in the pandemic, being laid off and having that debt like I had with no other income. I would be stressed, which causes disease, which causes so much, right? Because I wouldn't have been able to do it. I'm telling you right now, I would not have been able to make ends meet. I'd be stressing about the fall because, well, if I can't work, then no income comes in, but the kids need to learn. I would be stressing. But right now, I'm saying because I took I took the leap of faith, and I invested in myself, and I created that vision, I'm not worried about the fall. Because if I have to not work and I have to stay home to homeschool the kids, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. It's okay, right? So, I don't know. I just want you guys to think that what can you do with your investment? And we'll talk about how much it costs to get started and everything like that. But you have to come in looking at it like that, okay? Because you can't come in and look at it like, oh, that's expensive or that's expensive. It depends where you are in your life as well, right? It depends where you are. Maybe you're totally fine, you have no debt, you're doing good, and you don't need it, right? But I needed it. I needed it so bad. I needed the change. I needed something more, or I was going to be stuck for a long, long time. Paying off that amount of debt with that amount of interest, I would have had that for a long, long time. Okay? So this is just a bit of my story. I wasn't always like the big outgoing popular person. I had struggles. I was shy. Like I said, I had anxiety and depression. All of those things, right? And I think that's what's so valuable about being on Team Canada is I've learned so much through my journey that I teach that to the team, and it all has to do with mindset. Mindset is number one. Your success is 95% mindset and only 5% strategy. You could have the best strategies in the industry and still not see success. It's all in your mind. It's all 100% mindset, okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. That's my story. I think Tammy and I are going to come back later and probably go over some of the clothing because I know you guys may want to see like what we offer. Still, if you have frequently asked questions, drop them below. We're going to go over those at the end, but if you have specific questions, let us know. Yeah. So happy to share that with you guys today, and we'll be back later to talk to you soon. Bye, guys.